Okay, so here's our lesson 2.4 on creating and solving inequalities. Hopefully some of this should be pretty simple for you because I think you've seen some of this in 8th grade. All right, so inequalities, you should remember that inequalities, we've got some symbols here. Greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. One thing that I will tell you, all right, so these are our less than symbols. Sometimes people have trouble remembering which one is which. So just hold, if you can make L's with your two hands, your left hand is less than. So make an L out of your left hand is less than. That's one easy way to remember. Then your right hand is obviously going to be the other one. A few key words that I need to take a note of. So these less than, we obviously have those words, but anytime you see word problems about budgets, all right, if you're trying to spend something about a budget, you want to spend obviously less than what you are coming up with. And then in comparison, greater than is something, if you have like a fundraiser, because if you're raising money, right, you want to raise that amount or maybe more. So fundraising. Other words that are going to go in each category, budget. So less than is, this one's weird, no more than, right? You're saying it's like it's not more. So if you have no more than, that also means less. And then similarly, if we have no less than. And then lastly, at most, because that means that's the most you want. You want that or less. And then at least. The reason I'm giving you these is because these specifically are the most confusing of your keywords. So however you want to write this, you need to have these keywords written down for their respective symbols. All right, so the first set goes with less than or equal to, and the second set goes with greater than or equal to. All right, so let's look at a few problems together. All right, so take a second to pause the video and read through this problem. Right, now we're actually going to follow the directions today. We are going to write and solve because I want to show you a few different things. So first of all, for the writing, it says Sergio needs to spend at least $70. That's the first thing that stands out to me. So if you go back and look at your list, at least means less than or equal to. Oh, I'm sorry, at least means more than or equal to. Remember that we still have two formats. We can either be doing where we have like some information versus a total, or we can be comparing two things to one another. Because it gives me his total amount that I'm spending, that's how I'm going to set this problem up. So this time we want to have at least 70. So that means I'm going to have greater than or equal to 70, which means every other part of my equation needs to be on this left-hand side. It says he wants to buy gifts for 8 friends. All right. He wants to give the same gift to all 8 friends, but each gift also has an additional charge of $1.50. All right, so I'm buying for 8 friends, and if it was just 8 gifts, I could maybe just say 8x. But I also need to add $1.50. Now, if I leave it like this, that means it's an additional $1.50 for all of the gifts. Right, like you just pay $1.50 and they wrap however many gifts you give them. But that's not true. You want to add $1.50 for every single gift. So to do that, we have to add parentheses. Because for each person, he's paying the price of the gift and $1.50 for gift wrapping. All right. If we were to solve this inequality, we would probably distribute first. So that's 8x plus 12 is greater than or equal to 70. Then we would subtract 12. All right, so 8x is greater than or equal to, what is that, 58. And then divide by 8. Now, that does not divide well. All right, so I'm actually going to cheat for us. I'm going to use a calculator. And when I did that, I got x was greater than or equal to 725. Okay, so a few things we need to do. I kind of skipped a step. When we wrote the problem, we were supposed to define what x was. So x is the cost for a gift, or per each gift, however you want to write that, cost for a gift. And then our answer, this means that he must spend at least $7.25 for each gift. So he has to spend at least $7.25. That means he could spend $7.25, or he could spend $7.50, or $8, or $100, right? It doesn't, I mean, anything that's bigger than $7.25, that's what that means. All right, here's another problem. It's the only other one we're going to do today. I would like for you to pause the video and read this problem. And since you're taking notes, why don't you go ahead and just make a note of what do you think are the important pieces of information. You can just list those as bullet points for yourself. All right, so in this problem, I see that they're going to charge $312 plus $12 for each window, and another company is going to charge a different amount. Okay, so to me, I immediately see I am comparing two different things. All right, I'm comparing the home cleaning company to this power clean company. So the home cleaning company is $312 plus $12 for each window. Remember, each is a rate word, which means it's going to go with a variable. So that's 12W. Now, I use W this time because they tell me use W for the windows. All right. And then I want to know how many windows to make. Okay, so let me do the power cleaning company, and then I'm going to come back to the question. So the power cleaning company charges $36 per window, and the price for siding is included. So that just means this is $36 per window. There's no other charge there. Now the question says, how many windows would a house have to clean to make the home cleaning company less expensive than the power cleaning company? That means I need the home cleaning company to be less than the power company. And it doesn't mean less than or equal to. Like they're saying, it needs to be less. Exactly less. Okay, so there's our equation. And we don't have to, in your notes, you should write down that W equals the number of windows. That one's pretty easy because they already tell you what it is, windows. All right, so if we work this out, the first thing that I might do is subtract 12 from both sides. Right, I got to get my variables together. So I've got 312 less than 24W. All right, and I'm going to cheat again. Divide by 24. W. All right, let me calculate for us. All right, I got 13. Now, this is very important. When you finish a problem in inequalities, your variable needs to be on the left. Well, I can't just switch these just because I want to. And an equals, like if it was an equal sign, then you could. But with an inequality, you can't. So what you have to do is kind of put yourself in this W's shoes and read backwards. So when I do that, it reads W is greater now than 13. Right? Notice that you have to read it backwards so the symbol kind of turns around. So you need to probably put a star in your notes that you must flip so that the variable is on the left. I would write that down. You must flip so that the variable is on the left. All right, so what this means then is how many windows would they have to clean? Well, they need to clean at least 13 to be less expensive. So at least 13 means they could do 13 or 14 or 15. Actually, it does not mean 13. I'm glad I did that. I made a mistake. It does not mean 13 because this says greater than 13, not greater than or equal to, which means you would have to do 14 or more. All right, so in my notes, my answer, I would write this down as your answer. And then we can make a list of possible solutions. And those would be 14, 15, so on and so forth. All right, we'll talk about this tomorrow.